I mean, when you listen to Lil Baby's album,
Yeah.
I like the album. Some people don't like it. It did pretty well commercially.
Yeah.
Do you think this is a strong Lil Baby album, or do you think that, like, me and Academics talked, about this when I was on his podcast the other day, where he feels that like Lil Baby can't talk about all the stuff that kind of he wants to talk about, so it's a very kind of tame album, and that's why it's not really reacting to the level of other ones.
Yeah, but there's a lot of rappers, like somebody like Polo G got, all kinds of shit going on in the streets, but he don't really bring it to the music that much. Although I have had his ops on my podcast who tell me that he's talking shit about them in his songs. We don't understand it. But, I just listened to the Durk album. Durk is a soft-ass Durk album. There's no crazy drill songs on it. There's not that much hardcore street shit being talked about. It's a lot of R&B vibes and soft auto-tune type shit. And I mean, somebody like Baby, he can make music like that. He can make player songs, club songs, cool, laid back, weed smoking songs, sure. But yeah, there is an additional fan base that will turn up if they know that you're talking about crazy street shit. You can very easily imagine that if there was one song on the Baby album where he was talking about spinning and getting back and all this kind of shit, that it probably would have ignited a lot of conversation that didn't happen. But, really props to him for having the self-control to not go there.
Well, yeah, I was talking to Academics about this, right? So on the album, there's a song called Monitoring Me. And Lil Durk says, I don't even got to pay a N-word to do nothing. I got killers, all my friends. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Why would you put this on your album?
Okay, I stand corrected. That's a federal ass lyric.
Yeah, but what Academics explained to me was that song was already released before.
Oh, well, that's good.
Before the arrest. So he was probably like, well, it's out. If I put it on here, I don't put it on here, doesn't matter. It's out. I mean, so let's put it on here. But then again, you're literally rapping a verse that you're in jail over.
Yeah.
Right? Literally, you're rapping a verse about your friends being killers, and you're in jail because your friends killed somebody.
Right.
You can't say, I don't know these people. No, these are your friends. Some of them are.
I mean, a couple of years ago, Durk put out an album, and at the very beginning, he said, like, this is not real. This shit is all cap. And then you listen to the album, and it's like every song has like these vivid descriptions of murders and all kinds of crazy shit, So I guess you got to give it to him that, now that he's in this situation. And when he put that album out and a lot of his other albums, that is what went through my head is like, oh, wow, like he's facing charges for that shit in Atlanta with Vaughn and Bezu and whatever. And like, I'm like, how the fuck is he really putting albums out like this? Because I know that if I was facing a charge about some violent shit, and if I went to my lawyer and I said, hey, what should I say and what can't I say on this album? I mean, they would probably be very, very restrictive. They would probably name off a whole host of different things that I would be wise not to say. And, it feels like, I think Durk, this is the most self-control he's probably ever exhibited on a project. Granted, he's not even out to finalize this project or whatever, but I mean, yeah, this is the kind of thing that dudes got to deal with. So my hat's off to him for putting out an album that strays away from a lot of that stuff because it is beneficial to him right now. But at the same time, I listened to the album once and I'll probably never listen to it again. It was not my favorite Durk project.
Really? I liked it.
Really?
Yeah, like I Can't Hide It with Jhené Aiko was like in a constant repeat.
Ooh.
I love that song.
I didn't make it through the whole song.
Okay, well, and this is coming from someone who, I think Lil Durk said fuck Vlad on 2 different albums.
Mm-hmm.
At least one, but someone pointed out some other ones, so I think it's 2.
Does he mention you again on the new one?
No.
No, okay.
Not that I heard.
I was going to rewind a song because I thought he said your name, but then I didn't. Okay.
Did he?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Not if you didn't hear about it.
I didn't hear it. But then again, Eminem mentioned Vlad on one of his albums, and I'm like, is that about me?
Was it a fuck Vlad or was it?
Kinda. He said, I smacked Vlad with an ISIS flag. And I'm like,
it's not a nice thing to do to a Jewish guy.
Yeah, well, I looked it up and there was some guy named Vlad from like Sweden who like walked with an ISIS flag. Like it was a weird situation. There was something with an ISIS flag and Vlad somewhere in the news, but it was very obscure. And when it comes to hip hop, I'm kind of the biggest Vlad in hip hop, right?
Sure.
So I'm like, I think it's about me, but I don't know anyone around him to ask. Like, I don't have anyone close to Eminem that'd be like, oh yeah, I'll just call him. Let me ask him. Like, no, I don't know anyone like that. So
very few people are that close to him.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I got Paul Rosenberg's number, but I don't think he would be too eager to do that detective work for me.